What is up, guys? It's your boy, Bungie. I want to learn about the Veil, not some whale, Cactus. And today, we are going to be showcasing the brand new weapons dropping from the Ghosts of the Deep dungeon that has just gone live within Destiny 2 Season of the Deep. And guys, these just might be the best dungeon weapons I have ever seen. Like, I'm talking potentially multiple best in slot weapons. I know personally, thinking about some of the builds I run, they will be the new best in slot weapons for me. Like, as soon as I get those god rolls, baby, I am yeeting these weapons on those builds and they are not coming off. So let's talk about why I'm so excited by firstly going over these weapons' origin trait. Kind of a weird place to start, but this just might be the new best PvE origin trait in the entire game. Like, it is right up there with Soul Drinker and stuff like that. So it's called Restoration Ritual, and what it says is reviving allies or defeating combatants with finishers reloads this weapon and readies an emergency reload for the next time this weapon runs out of ammo. So here's what that looks like in game. I have this dungeon SMG right here. As you can see, normally I just shoot, it runs out of ammo, I reload. But if I go and get that finisher, in the corner of my screen, you will see Restoration Ritual present. And now, if I shoot this weapon, as you can see, it just keeps shooting. There is no animation. There is no delay whatsoever. The millisecond it gets to 0 ammo, it tops up the magazine completely again. That is insane. And all it requires is a finisher. Guys, finishers have become extremely common, if not meta, within the game. Like, imagine if you're even up to higher level content running a Grandmaster, often you actually have someone dedicated to running the Aeon Gauntlets to generate heavy ammo for your teammates for finishers. A lot of the time, you have people running special ammo finisher as well. Like, getting finishers, again, has become very, very common. So, instantly reloading and then getting essentially a free doubling of the magazine size for just accomplishing that finisher is amazing. Now, it's cool and it's good on this SMG, but on other weapon types like rocket launchers, it is just beyond powerful. I mean, I'm using the new Cold Comfort Dungeon Rocket right here. As you can see, I get the finisher and I get 2 rounds back to back with no reload. And that is a noticeable uptick in your DPS when you're using a rocket launcher. Now, you may be thinking, well, it's only for that one initial magazine and then you're gonna have to go and get another finisher. And that's true, but remember, the origin trait will also reload your magazine instantaneously upon getting a finisher. So that means you can get a finisher, do a double shot, and as you can see, if an enemy is nearby, get a finisher on that guy and get another double shot. Again, that is actually a lot of rockets in a pretty short period of time. However, again, is this going to be as consistent as something like Clown Cartridge? No, that's going to give you 2 rounds every single time. But remember, that is a main perk. This is an origin trait. You are getting a Clown Cartridge reload 2 rounds into mag for an origin trait that is usually useless. Like, some of the origin traits in the game are like, upon killing 3 champions, get +5 mobility for 1 second. Like, bro, Bungie, nobody wants that. This is so much better than most origin traits. And it lets you use those 2 main perk slots for other things. And this is where we get into the talk about the god rolls, because those main perk slots of the dungeon weapons are nutty. For the Cold Comfort, you can get, as you can see, Bait and Switch. Guys, this is the first time we're seeing this perk spawn on weapons outside of the Vow of the Disciple, and it provides a 35% damage increase if you hit an enemy with all 3 of your weapons. So, to put that in perspective, Explosive Light, which is like one of the best rocket launcher perks in the game, everyone was hunting for a hothead with Explosive Light. That requires you to pick up an Orb of Power, and it gives you a 25% damage increase. So bait and switch is arguably easier to trigger depending on your weaponry and gives a 10% bigger damage increase. That is incredible. And you can pair that with, I think, Envious Assassin in that first slot for an even bigger magazine size. So if you trigger Envious, you're getting 2 rounds in the mag. You have the finisher from earlier in the damage phase. Remember, that finisher, like, it doesn't have a cooldown, guys. You finish a thrall at the very beginning of a boss DPS phase and save that bonus for when the boss actually spawns, get that, free mag size, shoot 3 or maybe even 4 rounds with your Cold Comfort, and then you start reloading. But you've gotten such an insane amount of burst DPS off initially that's just incredible. Moving off of the Cold Comfort finally, the SMG is also phenomenal. So this is an aggressive frame archetype. It's solar, the no survivors. As you can see, it can get rangefinder in that first slot, just like the Immortal. I mean, I have 64 range with this thing. That is very impressive. Not to mention for a PvE role, it can get Demolitionist in the first column and Incandescent in the second column. So this is just like outright better than the Callus mini tool, right? I mean, because that can get Incandescent, and yes, it's enhanced Incandescent because it's craftable, but the best perk in that first column is just Threat Detector. I would take Demolitionist over Threat Detector in a heartbeat. So for me, like, again, I'm replacing my Callus Mini tool with the No Survivors when I get the God roll. But in addition to that, guys, you have some first evers. So you have the first ever Stasis Wave Frame Grenade Launcher with the new Pacific Epitaph. So as you can see right here, I lucked out and I did get a pretty darn good roll of Demolitionist in that left column, super valuable. Plus, it can also get Adrenaline Junkie. So, absolute wombo combo right here. Obviously, for Stasis builds, this is a huge uptick in power. Like, they have not been able to use a Wave Frame Grenade Launcher, and Wave Frames are very, very good. And this is one of the weapons that really, really benefits from that origin trait, right? Because you normally just get 1 round in your grenade launcher. Well, now, if you're getting finishers, you're yeeting out 2 rounds. And it lets you do the combo of you get a finisher, you yeet out 2 rounds, you chuck a grenade to trigger demo to get a 3rd round really quickly. So 3 rounds of grenade launcher, like, instantaneously. Really, really good. And then moving on from there, last and not gonna lie, kind of least, we do have the Greasy Luck Glaive. It's up on screen. I'm not making the name up, all right? So this as a glaive, I'm not quite sure how meta this will be. Glaives are not super meta in either PvE or PvP. There was times where they were very good. I remember like even running Grandmasters with glaives because the block damage absorbed like 97% of incoming damage. Like, it was absurd. So there is certainly a place for them. And importantly, the Greasy Luck is the first legendary rapid fire frame glaive. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't seem to really apply to the melee. It's only how fast you actually shoot the glaive. So that's obviously not as amazing if it meleeed faster, like holy crap. But still, like if you do like glaives, the uniqueness of, again, it being the only one of its archetype so far that's a legendary is a huge deal. So those are the new dungeon legendary weapons. However, there's actually something else interesting about them that you should know about, and that is they actually go up in value if you're using multiple at the same time. And here's why. As you can see right here, if you get a finisher to trigger the origin trait, it will activate for stowed weapons. Which means, as you can see, I get the finisher with my SMG out, and I whip out my grenade launcher, and it also has the perk and gets that double shot. So if I'm using the rocket and the SMG, and I get a finisher, both of them are getting that double magazine size. That is actually very, very valuable. And so guys, there you have it. I guess this dungeon is gonna be where I spend all my free time for the next 3 months until the new season comes out. I hope you enjoyed this video, found it interesting, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.